Welcome, 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 welcome. Da 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 da. Welcome, 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 welcome. Da 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 da. Welcome, 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 welcome. Da 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 da.
Welcome to a channel that has deep conversation, talks about life, talks about faith, and gives advice while all having fun. Let's go. What's good, everybody? What's good, Mandy Squad? So first of all, if you're new to this channel, you have not heard about AmandaSpeaks, you have not heard about Mandy Squad. I don't know where you've been at, but we're so happy that you made it to this video, made it to this channel. And if you want to become a part of this amazing family, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button right there and hit the bell button beside it so you don't miss any further videos. And without further ado, let's hop into this video, shall we? Alrighty, y'all. So as the title would have said, we're gonna be talking about suddenly. Now, for some of us that I know personally who may be watching this video, we've been hearing this word. Okay? And we're like, all right, God is saying suddenly. He's about to shift. He's about to move. He's about to do something. For other persons, that is a prayer, that is a cry that God, I need a shift. I need a move. I need something. Because something has to be different. Because where I am right now is not where I'm supposed to be and not where I'm supposed to stay. And for some of us, it's new. For some of us, we've heard the word, but it's never really hit our spirits. It's never really been something that has been weighty for us. It's something that you hear it and you say, all right, when it done, it done. When it's happened. But you've never been in a place where you need that suddenly, where you need that shift, where you need that drastic move of God to happen in your lives. And so we're going to talk about it because the Lord laid it on my heart, and I believe it's going to encourage somebody. I have a few points here, and I believe it's going to encourage somebody. So if this sounds like something you want to stick around for, let's tune in, shall we? Suddenly means, according to Google, quickly and unexpectedly. Now, the thing I wanted to mention first, as the title would suggest, is that suddenlies are not really suddenlies. Sounds contradicting, right? But there's a story I read and I wanted to find it so bad, but I don't remember it at the moment. But take, for example, any event that is supposed to take place in the Bible was predicted before. It was said to happen before. There were prophets prophesying and sharing the message before it even happened. It seems like a suddenly if you're not preparing for it. It seems like a suddenly if you were not expecting it. But what happens when you actually were expecting it? What happens when you got insight from the Lord that this was going to happen? What happens when you're listening to the revelations of God and you're tuning into what He's saying? It's not really unexpected and it's not quickly because you would have been preparing for it. It would have just been the appointed time. Suddenlies are for those persons. It only appears sudden when you had no knowledge of it. It only appears quickly, as the term would say, if it was not something you were prepped for. When we're studying for exams, take two types of study. We have the swatter and we have the person who preps for it. So you have the swatter, who literally is the night or 2 days before, that's trying to cram everything. They're okay, and whether or not it works, that's not what we're discussing right now. We're talking about the method. We're talking about the perspective. For the swatter, they wait until last minute before they study anything. No, the exam was already set for appointed date and appointed time. You have the prepper who is they're studying, they know it's months ahead, but they want to prepare themselves. They want to ensure that they're getting all the material, they're pacing themselves, they're preparing properly. Anything that they don't understand, they have time to ask questions, whether it is to the lecturer, to their classmates, or do their own research. And when the exam comes around, it's not as quickly for them. It's like, all right, it's the appointed time. I knew this was coming. I've studied hard, I've done my best, and it's just time to apply what I have been studying. It's time to apply what I have been doing for the past couple months. The swatter know. When exam time reach, they're like, whoa, when did this happen? When did it become exam time? Exams tomorrow? That's crazy. And now it seems like it has come upon them quickly. because they were never preparing properly for it. It's just like, thank you. It's just like when we talk about the coming of the Lord. It will happen quickly, like a thief in the night. No man knows the time, the hour, the day that the Lord will be coming, but it will come quickly. Now, for the person who's preparing for the coming of the Lord, even if it come, you're already prepared. For the person who is not preparing for the coming of the Lord, when it happens, it is left as a shocker. It came upon you unexpectedly. No, you don't want to be in that part where something happens to you and it happens to you quickly and you're never even prepared. That is why when things seem suddenly, it seems as though you're thrown off course. When things happen unexpectedly, it seems like you don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know where to turn because this was never something you were preparing for. Now, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. As I said, I had three to 4 pointers here, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, suddenly isn't so suddenly. What has God been saying to you, around you, and in you? What words have been coming from God? Because here's the thing, God is always going to warn you. God is always going to prep you. God is always going to give you hints as what's to come. But the true question is, are you listening? However, the Lord will prep you. The method doesn't matter. It's if we're actually listening. Because a teacher can prep her class, his or her class, the entire week. But if nobody's paying attention and the test comes, it's not the teacher's fault. It would have been the students that she's teaching, that she's telling the information. They would not have been listening. God always preps his children and he always tells you what's going on. But the true question is, are you listening? Are you hearing something being repeated over and over and over? And is it resonating with you? Because I know every word I feel. But is it resonating with you? Is it what God is riveting in your spirit? Is it something that the Lord is telling you pay attention to? Are you having reoccurring dreams and the Lord is literally trying to tell you something through the dreams? What is it that is being said to you, around you, and in you? No. With the suddenlies, it's also, remember I said that suddenlies are not really suddenly. So if you're in the preparation stage, what God is really doing is developing your character. Because one of the things you don't want to do is get into a place where the Lord is shifting, is moving unprepared. So it is character over mere passion, but using the passion to be consistent. So because you know you have a passion for it and you've been working on your character, you're going to be consistent. Why? Because it's not just about doing it when you feel like it. It's something you're called to. We have to remember that 1,000 years is like a day in God's eyes. So when it's your time, it's your time. Because as I said, the last thing you want to do is enter a space that God has been preparing for you unprepared. If you're praying for a shift, if you're praying for a move of God, you have to understand that God is not ignorant of your situation. He's not ignorant of your cries. He sees you. He hears you. He knows what you have suffered. And he is preparing to shift you. But you have to yield and you have to lean into him. Do not be discouraged if you see persons around you winning and it seems as though you're just not getting a breakthrough. Now, if you feel as though there's some cycles and some stagnancies in your life, I would recommend watching my girl's YouTube. She posted a video recently about watch this video if your life feels stuck. This is a thumbnail, and I'll leave it in the description below so you guys can watch it and you guys can learn a little bit from her as well and take on her tips, because she does leave some tips in that video as well. But I will say to you, you have to understand that time was not created for God because he stands outside of time. Time was created for us. And in the Bible, it literally says that 1,000 years is like a day to God and a day is like 1,000 years to us. His time is not our time, just as his thoughts is not our thoughts and his ways are not our ways. But best believe that when it is your time, it is your time. Our response to the suddenly matters. You have to understand that the suddenly is an opportunity to get closer to God and increase your faith. Let us not be like the disciples who walked with him, received his teachings, but had little faith. Suddenlies are answered prayers. Again, suddenlies are not suddenlies when you are walking consistently with the Lord, because you would have been preparing, you would have been prepped, the Lord would have been speaking to you. But again, the question is, are you listening? So that's all I have for today's video, guys. I hope this blessed somebody. I hope it encouraged somebody. I hope it brought clarity to somebody. I hope it brought somebody to a wake-up call. There is more that the Lord is doing in some of our lives. And for some of us, we've been praying for years, for months, for a shift to happen. We've been praying for a while for God to change our story, for God to change our name, for God to change our situation, for God to change our perspective, for God to shift up some environments that we're in, for God to increase our faith, for God to increase our spirituality, for God to increase our hearing. For some of us, we have been praying to God. Some of us don't even realize the prayers that we even pray. Sometimes we hear certain things and sometimes we utter certain things and we don't know the weight it carries. But for some of us, we have been praying for a shift because we are tired or because we are sensing that something new is in the spirit. One, get ready. I don't know who, get ready for what the Lord is about to do. It's going to seem drastic to others, it's going to seem quick to others. It is going to seem very, very, very sudden to others on the outside. And it can seem sudden to you if you're not connected. But if you are connected with the Lord, it will rest with you. You would have already been prepared, you would have already been prepped, and you're ready to walk into what the Lord has called you. Because for some of us, we're praying for some type of exposure, we're praying for some type of elevation, not understanding that if the Lord is supposed to do that right now, your character has to be built. Let me talk to a group of people one sec. There's some persons I'm really trying to there's some persons who you've been silent or the Lord is calling you to silence. And it feels weird. I'm even talking for myself in a way. If this is just for me, it's just for me. But if it's for you, comment down below and say this was for me. There's some of us the Lord has called us to some form of silence. And it's because the shift is ready to happen. But you've been talking too much. You've been a little too antsy. And the Lord is telling you to shh. Because He's trying to prepare you in the background. So that when you step out into the light, ain't nobody can shift you. Ain't nobody can take glory. Ain't nobody can say, oh, I knew that. The only way they know that is if they're in the Spirit and the Spirit alone. There's something the Lord is ready to do with some of us, but it's starting internally first. And He doesn't want us oversharing. He doesn't want us talking about it too much first. He wants us to be a people, a person of action and allow Him to shine His light on us. It's not about making your way. It's not about finding your way first. It's not about being the first either is not about being the one up close and personal, having the most shares, having the most likes, having the most followers. It's not about any of that. Because a lot of us want quickly. A lot of us want quick, but the Lord wants longevity. A lot of us want the highlight, the flashing lights, the popularity, but the Lord wants substance and sustainability. He wants accuracy. He wants impact. He wants power. He wants power. He wants his power to be displayed and manifested through his people. We cannot be a people who all we're doing is talking, but there's no action behind our words. There's no power behind our words. There's no authority behind our words. The suddenlies will look abnormal to people and they will marvel, but also be very curious as to who are you and how can you do this? How do you have this much influence? How do you have this much impact? It's going to seem to some persons absurd because it's going to feel like you came out of nowhere. The suddenly will look like a surprise to others, but it's a test to you. Are you ready? Y'all, this is all I got. This is all I got for you. It feel like it was just about to go to a whole other. Y'all see me staring to the side. I know y'all see me staring to the side. That was about to be a whole nother video. But y'all, that's all I have for you. I pray that the peace of the Lord be with you. Y'all, I don't know, this messed me up for a bit. Does this mess me up for a bit right here? But that's all I got for you guys. And I hope this video was encouraging. I hope it was insightful. I hope that you got something. I hope that the Lord would have been speaking to you even as you watch this video and you would have been getting your part. I'll see you in the next upload. Leave below your takeaway from this video. If you know somebody that would absolutely benefit from this video, please share the link with them. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button so you don't miss any further videos and you become a part of Mandy Squad. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We are growing. We are at, I believe, 407 subscribers now. Let's keep it growing. Let's keep it glowing. And let's grow together. Let's share the love, share the experience, share. Share the love, share the experience. And yeah, I'll see you next upload. Peace.